Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with my review of AEW Dynamite, and firstly, I'm going to start off with how this show began. I like the text and the showing of unity, the Black Lives Matter stuff that they did. That was very, very nice. We need to, push for equality, push for the fact that people should be treated equally, not judged by their skin tones. That's really what it comes down to. And support our friends, our family, our allies. Really, guys, we are all in this together. That is really what it comes down to. And we need to stamp out these injustices. That's really what it's all about. And I, for one, totally stand by this. And it was a very, very classy move by AEW. So, how was the show overall? It was bookended by two pretty good title matches, and even the stuff I didn't like did not bring this down for me. I got a lot of shit for what I said about last week's episode, which had its moments, but I really didn't care for the Tyson Jericho stuff, and don't worry, I will get to that. But overall, this was a pretty good episode. It wasn't the best, it wasn't great, but it was pretty good and consistent. That's the most important thing. That's really all I ask for is consistency and just some fun stuff. So anyway, Britt is in the crowd. She's on a golf cart thing, or a field cart, because she's still recovering from her from her injury. She'll be back at All Out, and that's great. And they're still keeping her on the show. She's in the Rolls Royce, role model. That was pretty good wordplay. I appreciate that wordplay. And then we have Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc with Penelope Ford versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Paige, and it's a pretty good AEW tag title match. Obviously not as good as the one that Paige and Omega had with the Young Bucks at Revolution. And as much shit as I give three of those guys, guess what? That was probably the best tag team match that I've seen all year, at least with the brands that I watch. And there are a lot of people that would agree, even those that are critical of any of the people involved. So that was pretty damn good. And this, no, it was not going to compare to that as far as storytelling and everything. But this was pretty damn good. Kip and Havoc did look like equals. They did have to cheat a whole lot. Paige, the wrestler on WWE programming, got mentioned by JR. That was really, really nice, referring to the Fighting Knights, and that is who trained Kip Sabian, so that was pretty cool. And then Penelope gets involved, and Hangman's like, well, what do I do? Drop her? Okay, I'll drop her. That was some pretty fun stuff. I actually really enjoyed that. FTR was watching from the crowd. Cash and Dax, still trying to get used to those names. And Jimmy Havoc, at one point, when Penelope Ford got kicked out for interfering after that Hangman Page spot, Jimmy Havoc hit them with a wrench. He threw a wrench into the plans. He was wrenching back on that maneuver. I'm going to keep making these wrench puns until they're funny. Except I didn't start out very funny, so moving on. At one point, he pulls out a Jim Duggan or a Butch Reed and tries to hit them. A hacksaw. It's a hacksaw for longtime wrestling fans if you don't get it. He tries to hit them while the referee's distracted or whatever. They might as well just made this a no DQ match, and then Paige and Omega could have won. But in the end, we get the last call, the V-Trigger Buckshot Lariat combo, and there you go. Okay, the champs win. Kip and Havoc look like equals. As far as, or at least being a credible tag team and everything. This isn't going to be the only tag title shot that they get. They will rise up and they will get that again. This is pretty good. And then we get recaps of Tully yelling at Shawn Spears. He hands him Barry Windham's wank glove. Actually, he just handed him the glove. And I love Barry Windham, don't get me wrong, I just had to make that joke. But, the loaded glove, the leather glove. The Blackjacks use it. Obviously, Barry Windham used it. That relation to the Blackjacks. Pretty close relation, in fact. And other wrestlers have used that stuff, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Shawn Spears, but hell, if they're getting away with the whole tag team partner thing, and they're getting away from that and trying to do something different, I can't fault them for that. So then we get Cage versus Shawn Dean, and squash match, and Cage wins easily. And then Taz talks and says, you have the audacity to snicker at Brian Cage. Well, talking about Moxley. And Taz has a way with words. He just doesn't have a good way with words. And I really just don't buy him as Cage's mouthpiece. I'm not saying Cage is great at promos, but I don't think he really needs Taz. I really don't. This kind of feels like when they paired Taz with Samoa Joe, that is. It just, I don't know how it's going to work. Here's Moxley and said, well, you can beat me. I am human, but it's going to take you all night long to beat me. And they're building up their whole match they're going to have happen at Fyter Fest. And then suddenly we go out to some weird, broken down overpass, construction site where Lance Archer just beating up some masked guy in clothes, and Jake Roberts is trying to, it's kind of like in the background, like doing this, wincing as Alex Marvez gets yelled at by Lance Archer. I don't know who this was for, and I like Lance Archer. I just don't know why the fuck he was out at a construction site beating up why was a masked guy out there at a construction site? I just didn't get it. But again, I like Lance Archer, so it was what it was. And then footage of Private Party and Matt Hardy, who is like, he's like the European Championship version of Matt Hardy. He's back to being, not broken Matt Hardy, which is probably good because you need to kind of use that character here and there. Him being different characters isn't all bad, but don't overdo it on them. I've been 50-50 on Matt Hardy in AEW, but he offers to help them. Okay, so we're going to get Private Hardy. That's who we're going to get. The Matt Party, no, Private Hardy actually works a whole lot better. And then Sammy Guevara's there on a leg cart, because he's still busted up after all the accidents he's been in. And then Matt Hardy says, respect, no ill will. Okay, whatever. Fyter Fest is going to be July 1st and July 8th on TNT. Good. They can't go to London, or at least some part of the UK. I think it was going to be London because of the travel ban, all the stuff and everything. So they're doing next best thing. They're going to turn 2 weeks of Dynamite into Fyter Fest, which I'm excited for. Maybe it'll be good. It may not be great, but at least they're doing something with it and they're finding a way to draw people in. So it was what it was. And then we get more recaps of the Jericho Tyson stuff, which I didn't care for. Some people did. That's fine. I don't see it as really good long-term storytelling. They're referencing something from 10 years ago that I totally fucking forgot about because I just didn't give a shit. We then get Jericho with Sammy Hagar versus Colt Boom Boom Cabana and referee Aubrey. Sammy singing Judas really, really bad. That was fine. Hagar eventually attacking Colt because he does not want Colt to replace him. And then JR says one of the dumbest lines that I have heard in a while. Shocking. Jericho may be the best all-around performer in wrestling today in every phase of the game. Promo-wise, sure, I'll agree with that. In-ring work, Jericho has not been good in the ring for a number of years. That's not to say he's bad. He can still do some shit, but he's lost more than just a few steps, as everybody would at, almost the age of 50. But I'm just not buying that at all. That being said, he has been pretty damn good. As far as an on-screen character, off-screen, Chris All Lives Matter, if you didn't like the Stadium Stampede match, you have no soul. Jericho feels that, have no soul if you didn't like that. Yeah, fuck Chris Jericho for saying that. I may have not liked it, and I may have not, or I may have, been 50-50 on it, but if people didn't like it, that's fine. They're allowed to have an opinion. It's okay, midlife crisis Jericho. It's okay to not like something. So anyway, eventually Colt, even though he tried some moves, got locked in the Lion Tamer, and then soon after got hit with the Juice Effect 1, 2, 3. Jericho then cuts promo on Tyson, but first says, I can taste the blood of Colt on my fist. A kiss with a fist is better than none. If you get that, I love you guys for it. And they censor the word ass, but he can say shit. Taz also said shit earlier. Cable television is weird. Orange Cassidy shows up. I know why he's here because of the whole thing that happened like a week ago where Orange Cassidy got beat up and then showed up. Well, let's see. Yeah, he got beat up and then he showed up, here to kind of continue the storyline. And he puts Jericho's hands in his belt, like hands in the pockets and everything, and then does some evasive stuff. And gets out of the ring and gets there with the best friend. So it's going to be Santana and Ortiz and Hagar in a 6-man tag match next week with against Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Cool, whatever. I don't like Orange Cassidy, but whatever. I knew he was going to get on here one way or another. Britt's road to recovery on the football field, and it was hilarious because it was mocking all the ways that people would come back from injuries. Big Swole versus Nyla Rose. I'm going to make this very, very quick. JR didn't really care at all, and Nyla Rose won. Swole is not bad in the ring. I just don't really care about her character. I like the piece they did on Dark. That's really the only bit of character they've added to her. Nyla Rose won. Good. Okay, good. Then Shivani interviews Swole. And then Britt picks a fight with her. Swole gets a chair and then says Rebel, well, not Rebel, but, is Rebel from TNA. You take the card away and everything. She runs into the barricades, which is by design, but almost runs into the goddamn thing. Didn't break anything, so that's pretty damn good. I don't really know what this is for. Shivani then interviews FTR. This was obviously a taped episode. I think they're taping quite a few weeks of TV, which is probably smart. What does FTR stand for? At one point he says, I thought it stood for Fuck the Revival. That was pretty good stuff. And then mentions, the FTR mentions the Bucks and how Meltzer compared the Midnight Express to the Young Bucks, which Meltzer's fucking stupid for doing that. Meltzer's a goddamn idiot for doing that. You can like the Bucks, but no, they aren't even close to a team like the Midnight Express. They aren't even close to the Rock and Roll Express. Do they have their fans? Yes, they do. But they in their prime, they wouldn't be able to outwork either of those teams. Not one goddamn bit. So, good MVP, so it's good to hear from them. And then we get the Butcher and the Blade showing up because FTR attacked them last week. And that was good. We get a pull apart. We're going to get that match next week. We then get Colt and Sammy next week. Mark Quinn versus, we're going to find out, Cody for the TNT Championship. And Moxley's going to be on Dark. Bit odd the champion's going to be on Dark. Maybe it's a way to hook more people. Maybe they're trying to get more of that YouTube ad revenue. So then we get a Colt promo. He's talking about losses he suffered. Here comes the Gimp Order showing up. Just drop the fucking Gimp or drop it. Drop the stupid motherfucking gimmick. It's atrocious. It's fucking atrocious. You can have the best, wrestlers in that goddamn gimmick, and it's fucking death. They've tried to reinvent. It hasn't fucking worked. They need to fucking stop. They need to fucking stop with the Gimp Order. I swear to God, I just don't fucking get why they're doing this with the Gimp Order. It's fucking annoying. Really, really fucking annoying. So anyway, that being said, I know they're fans of it. That's fine. I just don't care. I also don't care about Brody Lee. I actually regret thinking that he was going to do anything good in AEW because so far he's done stuff that was no better than what he did in his last couple years in WWE. He's on programming more, but that's it. So, Cody versus Jungle Boy TNT Championship. I'm going to make this very, very quick. This match is pretty good. Cody did catch Jungle Boy out of a suicide dive and threw him onto the guns, which is pretty cool. So he threw his jungle gun, fucking lost that goddamn thing right there. I'd edit it out, but fuck it, I don't edit my goddamn show. So anyway, yeah, that was something else. Goddamn flies. So, Cody essentially dominated for a bit, but then tried a headbutt maneuver and headbutted the wall, and they stay on Jungle Boy and MJF getting in a goddamn verbal altercation forever so Cody can blade, much like his dad, much like Rick, but much like his dad especially. Jungle Boy gets more aggressive, but in the end, it did not work. There was a table bump for both of them, and soon after, Crossroads for 3. They shake hands, and they hug and everything, and that's the end of that. So, okay, cool. Jungle Boy has risen up quite goddamn well, and it was what it was. This match was pretty damn good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty damn good. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.